tarot reading on current energy, just finding out all that we can, all the way into Pisces from, I think we're on Virgo. Yes, Virgo and then Libra. Okay, so yeah, we're about halfway through it. We are going to get into this right after you hit subscribe and get into this shuffle. Go ahead and hit that bell while you're at it, if you would, please and thank you. Okay, I'm going to find out all about the feelings between you and this other person, and we are going to get into our tarot with Virgo up first. Get an oracle card first. Okay. All right, we're going to start with this oracle reading, just get the surface energy, find out where we are, and just kind of go from there, finding out all about the situation between the two of you. And this could be love, this could be friendship or work, just depending on how the cards come out. Okay. What is that? All right. So we've got some security in this situation, this relationship, or stability, or a want for it, just depending on what the tarot says after. I do think there's some sort of surprise message or some surprise information, because when it has message in the bottle, to me, message in a bottle is just conveying a message or delivering a message that may or may not get to the other person. So it's just like a very unaware information. Very much a shock or surprise as far as any kind of information leading to the security in the relationship or the stability there, or the emotional connection between the two of you. Okay. Okay. So over on your end, you're very inspired with the connection in this relationship because of how much it inspires you just in general to lead in love and to have flow in your life, or maybe add some balance that maybe you haven't been aware of. You could be a parent, or this other person could be a parent, but there are kids involved in this situation. That's also being indicated by the cards that are appearing now. Over on their end, they're very much their own teacher. They're very much in a place where they're reliable. They're very much wanting like a long-term commitment, or maybe just that's their values and their beliefs. So you could be dealing with an earth sign. You could be dealing with Taurus in specific. We'll find out the thoughts and the emotions. So your thought is kind of joining together, becoming whole, having a relationship with this person, and their thoughts are all about, okay, about the same thing. They're looking to build. They're thinking about all the nurturing that they could do with this relationship. They're thinking about the excitement, even the sex, the lust. It's definitely indicating that they're ready for some sort of distance to be gone. So there could even be distance between the two of you. And emotionally, you're a little bit withdrawn over on your end. And this could be something that you withdrew before or after, not quite sure. But you don't want to get stuck in that, because then that will take away from the rest of this situation or this relationship. But you definitely are trying to take some time to kind of like scope things out instead of just jumping in without knowing what the hell you have going on. So emotionally, you're a little withdrawn because you're logically and rationally trying to figure things out instead of just like being a mess emotionally, or just too passive even. I wonder if this is not a relationship that, see the distance, I feel like there's space or distance or time in between the two of you, because I mean, at one time emotionally, you kind of were the center of their world. It's a little bit upside down now, but it's not completely out of in the sense, I guess, over. This person's definitely well-rounded, and they're very much accepting and inviting of whatever you have going on. So emotionally, their world is revolving probably mostly around them, and kind of like whatever they're doing work-wise, could even be something to do with a passion that they have, that they run their life, abide by, growth, transformation, you name it. Likely outcome here is that there could be some sort of a completion between you and this person, because this person seems to be like, it feels like family to you, or feels like some sort of a blessing to you, some sort of a love connection to you. But this is definitely a relationship that flows and it's very healing. And I feel like it leads you in places you never thought that maybe you would actually lead yourself into. So any response to the situation would be the fact that this is going to come in and this is going to complete itself because of all the strength and the courage that are being put towards it. Okay, a lot of fire in this, a lot of lust and a lot of adventure, and this could even be just a spiritual connection as well. Just kind of the core energy between the two of you is just speaking volumes as far as spiritual. So and this person might not even be aware, because again, with the message in the bottle kind of thing, it's like almost like surprise information. So this could be, again, just something that, not that it can't grow from here or transform or get into a place of some sort of action or change. But again, this is just very passive with the other person because they may not be aware. But it is in the process. So currently just in the process of trying to, logically deal with the situation instead, Virgo, of you just intensely doing something or, not doing something enough in a love situation. So, okay. Hit subscribe when you check out. I'm going to get into the rest of these readings. So our next reading up is going to be our Libra. We're going to get an oracle reading first, and then we'll get into our tarot card. All right, so those already came out. There's just like a huge knowing in the situation, whatever that is. And that's over on their end, most likely. I feel like you've been building on this connection, and there's just like a deep knowing, or like just even since the beginning, since it started, kind of that this was your person, no matter how much shadow, no matter how much good or bad is involved. I feel like this person could be like kind of a wise old spirit type. And I feel like this has brought you a lot of change and has rounded things out for you pretty well. And I feel like the connection, the creation it's definitely a part of that been building part. So I feel like anything coming from this situation, it's a lot to do with the fact that there's creation in it. It's spiritual, it's connected because there's good and bad being appreciated, instead of just like focusing on just that positive stuff. So we'll get into tarot and find out more about your person, find out who they are, zodiac wise, Libra. Gemini, crickets, right as I said, Libra, justice. Okay, you're over on the left side. I feel like to continue building, Libra, you're going to have to out some sort of information. So I feel like to really bring these scales to balance, or, to make sure that all the truth is out here and everything's being talked about, you want to make sure that any creation or growing or building in this relationship is going to depend on the fact that you actually are really being honest, even when it's not comfortable, or when, you're in a position where you have to like almost like tell them, a non-positive thing about them. You have to keep building in that way. Because on their end, they're gonna know no matter what. So they have like an intuitive knowing, and they're always gonna know when you're not being in that truth space. And you have pure intentions. You walk with purity also. I feel like you definitely are a communicator anyway. So you just want to practice continuing doing that. Okay, over on their end of things, yeah, there's a lot of flow within the relationship. I feel like emotionally, though, you're almost like you could probably swim in the emotions a little bit more. It's almost like they just put their toes in it and just kind of, that's good to them. They're like, I'm good over here now. I feel like they have a lot of passion for you. There's a lot of nurturing, a lot of sun, a lot of warmth. There's always a path for the two of you. Okay. Okay, thoughts on the relationship between the two of you. Over on your end, I feel like you are nurturing of the relationship. You like the relationship. There's an adventure here. It's always passionate. But I feel like there is something off balance. And that could have been, the fact that I was telling you how when we are in a relationship, if we're not communicating about even the negative stuff, sometimes we can't continue building. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it. But somebody's distant, and it could even be just on your end of things. But I mean, other than that, it's pretty golden. And so any balance here that would add to the balance is just adding in and remaining spiritually connected. because that's super, super important in this relationship, whatever this is currently. Over on their end, their thoughts, they think that you're very courageous. They really enjoy the strength that the two of you have together, and they feel like this is a really nice match. This is super, well, what's that? Okay. You're definitely in the midst of that. So they think that you're expanding. They think that you keep adding to the situation. So I don't think that you worrying about building or kind of looking off into the distance, thinking that you're not doing enough is really going to help, especially the positivity in the relationship, because a lot of the good energy comes from your end, but it's almost like being dismissed because of something you kind of keep looking over. You keep looking at something that really isn't that important. So I think the primal idea here is the energy needs to stay in the importance, and that's the spiritual connection and any passionate parts of this relationship, because that's very nurturing to it. So over on their end, as far as emotion, they want and they need communication constantly. So that's just kind of where they're always at with it. But emotionally, they're ready to communicate, constantly trying to start something new and always giving you ample opportunities to begin something. So let's find out a likely outcome here. And your person could be a fire sign, could be a Leo in specific, could be an air sign also. Yeah, definitely currently, even in the midst of this upcoming. So upcoming, this relationship has a lot of potential. I don't know if the two of you are very aware of it, because you're in the midst of something that you're trying to manifest or you're trying to bring about. Yeah, definitely. And it's like, no matter how loving this connection is, it's like you still, both of you continue to, analyze it, looking at the wrong stuff. It's like you two could build mountains together, but it's like you're very unaware of that, I think. So you're just kind of thinking, no matter what, communication and, planning, organizing, being rational, those things, the relationship can't always be fine, but it's like you're wanting it to always be okay, but it's not. I mean, sometimes you have bad days, and that's okay. To get into a place of a connection and a relationship and to bring the two of you to keep that balance in the flow between the two of you, I feel like anything new or starting out or any choice or pairing up that the two of you are doing, stay in the fact that you're good at this. You're good at this relationship. Fuck everything else. Because honestly, I feel like the manifestation of anything here, or the want and the need of something, is going to come. It's right there, but you're not accepting the fact that you guys are really good at being together. So continue to move in through this relationship. Hopefully everything turns out right for you. I'm going to get out of here on that note and get into our next reading with Scorpio. So please hit subscribe. Go ahead, share, like, and follow if you would. All right. Give me a minute to shuffle. I can't see anything here. How do you do that? Oh, hello. I couldn't see the chat. I didn't realize on the phone you could use the chat. Oh, no celebs here. I just did Andrew Tate, though, if you want to go check it out. I'm just doing the rest of these current readings. Hello from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Welcome. Okay, last one. All right, Scorpio, we're going to find out about your person currently, where you're at, and get into all sorts of emotions and thoughts between the two of you. We're going to find out the current status through Oracle, though. Get that top energy. It's like you're okay to be independent. It's like you're okay to be, in a place where you're secure, just being independent and isolated. But it's not that you're not open to this situation or this relationship. It's just that you do like to find hermit energy. You do like to think. You like to be on your own. It's not that you're not wanting to welcome this situation or whatever this relationship is between you and your person, but we will find out a little bit more here. Okay. Now, the levels of emotional connection are probably a little bit off balance because this person's a little bit more youthful than you, spirit-wise and energy. They speak to you within like almost like Page of Cups, honestly. Like sometimes they're a little overkill, sometimes they're not talking enough, or back and forth reciprocating that love in the best or the most stable way. So, because I mean, you're all about the stability, the spiritual side, the nurturing of it. And I feel like you also have a lot of lives to do this. So you have spiritually definitely been, you're a little wiser spiritually. So you're an old soul, most likely. Let me get back to that. Very nurturing. Let's see. All right. So again, you could just be, you're very secure, again, being independent, but it's almost like this situation or the responses to situations with this person sometimes are a little bit outlandish. So it's like they're very impulsive and sometimes they don't think enough about what they say. And that's something that is being indicated here, that you're like, I really need that person to be there as far as communicating. You don't want it to be a distance or some space in between you two, especially when you're talking. So emotionally, I feel like you're reflecting on a lot of things from the past. And this is just something that you invite in because in the past, has been a lot of unpredictable conversations between the two of you. Maybe even temperamental or behavior, like where it was kind of like you had to fight back and you're always kind of like on guard and uncomfortable a little bit as far as like not wanting to destroy your relationship with one tiny conversation. So but you're always kind of on guard, but it's like you're still nurturing, you're still, watering the plant, if you will. Emotion or thinking wise over on their end of things. That's weird. They think that they're kind of tied, or you're tied. They think maybe you're tied or they're tied to something toxic here. That could even be an addiction or a habit or a behavior that kind of affects relationship or affects your life in a sense of like, when is that going to end? Like, when are we going to unchain ourselves to this situation? So I think it's only time will tell when you get to that space, but it's a lot of heat. It's a lot of heat within that. Jeez, lots of fire. Your person could be water sign, could be another fire sign, or just within their birth chart. See, and emotionally, like you two could have been involved with each other because I feel like I'm getting like, a one night stand, or maybe you guys just didn't know that this was really going to be like a long lasting relationship. So I feel like this has definitely put you both in a very odd space, especially when you started this relationship. So the past has a lot to do with this relationship as well, because your thoughts are like as far as you thought this was going to be like a force that was really quick. So it was like a one night thing, the both of you. Yeah, definitely over on their end, they're thinking about, they need the truth because there's some sort of truth that isn't being seen here. So something is being swept under the carpet. And again, that could be an addiction. That could be something that they're just not talking about because it's very much, it's closing their throat off. They're not talking about it at all. So I don't think that it's anything that, I don't think it's not something, you're not aware of this. You're aware of it. You're very aware of it. What's the likely outcome here? Get one more. See, I feel like the likely upcoming is they have feelings, they have a connection with you, they have love in a relationship, their intentions are pure, and they're always like leading with love when they're dealing with you. I think the only thing here is that they really push the limits, they really push the boundaries, and they almost like go over the boundaries a little bit too much, but they're not going to listen to anybody else because that's just the way that they are. And I feel like work is going to be keeping them very busy this whatever's upcoming this month. So I think work is going to keep them busy. Anything that they do for work, it's definitely going to draw their attention away from you a little bit. Because you're still feeling like there's a conflict though. You still feel like there's a conflict and you don't quite have the courage to talk about the conflict yet. And that's the truth that needs to come out with that Five of Wands in reverse. I feel like any intention that this person brings and any busyness is going to really take away from all that. It's really going to make you not want to invite in an uncomfortable conversation. But you might want to do it because they're aware that there's something that you need to say. So add to the security and safety of that relationship. If you want that, you're going to have to be very fucking honest. Otherwise, it's not going to feel right. Okay, Sagittarius. Let's get into our next reading. Scorpio, please hit subscribe if you would. And we'll get into our next reading with Sagittarius, getting into a current energy, current relationship connection. This is going to be love, friendship, or family. Just let it resonate where it resonates, or align it where it aligns. If it's not your story, it's not your story. Okay. A lot of change in this relationship, a lot of going towards the edge, a lot of like pushing boundaries. Maybe one of you is going over your limit here with each other, but I feel like it's almost like a dance between the two of you. So it's not like it's not reciprocated. So whoever you're dealing with, this is something like pressing all the way to the edge, making things as uncomfortable as possible. That's kind of like what gets you into these spaces, if that makes sense. So you would do a lot if you were to just observe it, though. I feel like you want to be a part of it. You want to I feel like you should observe it and maybe kind of reflect on it. I think it would teach you something to know a little bit about your person as far as like where their negative and their positive goes. So like whatever they're doing to make you irritated or to get you to fight or rile you up, that is something that they're speaking to you in that way. Maybe talk to them about it, because that is something that is really getting you to a place where you're uncomfortable. And it's like there could even be creating something together. There's some truths here for sure that need to come out. They need to be talked about. Something, again, that you kind of like keep going over. But you need to be more of an observer when this is happening. You add to the chaos when you add your opinion in there when they're a little chaotic. Don't do that. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's find out. Your person could be a fire sign. Their thoughts on you or this relationship or this connection is that this could be a long-term thing. This is something that you have both been thinking about a lot. So creating together or observing this together is definitely something you guys kind of reflect on it. So they're thinking that maybe you guys should, continue to keep moving through this because they want this long-term happiness with you. This is definitely long-term energy, whether it ends up that way. It's just kind of basing that off of your opinion of the relationship and if you want to stay there or not. As far as what they're feeling, though, they feel like they're not seeing everything. They feel like you keep things from them, and adding to the balance or the communication even, and just telling exactly how it is something that they need. And we were kind of just talking about if, they're pushing you again to your edge, then they're obviously needing some sort of attention, or they're like, they're marking a space in which they're like, I need your attention. I need you to talk. So that's what they're wanting. They're wanting to communicate. They're aware that they're not seeing everything, and that's not okay. That's something that they need to deal with. So coming into some sort of a decision for them emotionally, trying to figure that out so that they can have a clear head and a clear mind. Over on your end, so I think you could be dealing with a fire or an air sign. See, you're not seeing something either. So the both of you are very blind to exactly what this experience is really, what you're really dealing with here. And again, I kind of indicated that you needed to observe the relationship, and that would be a big indicator why, is because again, you're not really dealing with the full picture, the reality of the situation. So thought wise, again, just not seeing everything for what it is. And I also think that you're always kind of in the emotion of things, in the intensity, adding to, the edge of things, and, really letting those fires get like bigger and a lot hotter, because that is something that maybe it's just how you guys communicate. I just feel like it's a big fucking fight, though. But emotionally, you're like very passionate about this person. Emotionally, you're very nurturing to this person. So it's like almost like that, coming to the edge of that, getting into that fight and regressing back from that, getting, back into a nurturing place. It's like a, roller coaster of emotions between the two of you, a back and forth ping pong relationship. Okay, what is the likeliness in the upcoming month here with this relationship? Said something about they making a decision emotionally. You're looking to build emotionally. And likely outcome is that maybe you guys restart this a little bit here, because anything underneath the surface of things is that there's no action really being put into the relationship that has any balance. So all the action is kind of, what's the word? Not very connected. It's almost like empty, the actions that you're putting into the relationship, because it causes fight and fire, and it's just like a hot mess. But I feel like this new beginning, if you guys restart things, this could really put you in a place where you have some sort of power behind the action that you're putting in between you and this other person. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you want to drive away. Maybe not. I think the experience between the two of you in the upcoming month is definitely going to be reliable. It's something that you both have put a lot of focus in. So you're willing to restart, as well as this other person. So any of this experience is going to be reliable. It's going to be safe and secure. And I also think that you guys have put so much detail and focus and yourselves into it and energy. You're like, we're not going back on this at all. Absolutely not. Especially going back to like independence or single life. Absolutely fucking not. You couldn't want it not more, because something will be coming up as far as the tower energy or tower moment that's going to change your perception, the both of you, completely about each other. So this will help. It will help. It will feel like shit, because it feels like shit. The tower energy is a hot mess. You could even be having it right now, like certain things happening just over and over and over. And it's like, when do you get a breath? Well, you'll know when you start seeing things a little bit differently. So instead of not seeing shit, you're going to see it completely different, darling. You guys need that tower. You need that moment that shifts everything about your perception of this other person. So, all right. I'm going to get out of here on our Sagittarius, and we're going to get into our next zodiac sign. Yada. What do we got? Capricorn? Yes. Hello, Danny Medina. Welcome. I like your fox. Or is it an ox? A fox or an ox? All right. Capricorn, we're going to find out all about your current situation. Please hit subscribe while you guys are waiting. Okay. Current situation. One more. You're connected, but it's not the correct power. It's like there's a crisis or a change and it's not stable, and you just kind of continue to keep asking why instead of putting any action into it. So there's just like, again, there's a connection. There's even like a partnership or some sort of a choice that you had to make even on this. It kind of feels like a crisis, though. It feels like a little bit of a conflict. I mean, emotionally, however you feel about this person is super positive. There could be a child involved, or this person could have a kid, or just you. But there is family involved, or some sort of kid. I do think that there's passion, pure intention on your end. Emotionally, you're, again, very optimistic about the relationship. This person could be an earth sign. Over on their end of things, thought-wise, they think that you're not as balanced as you should be. Their thoughts are also that there is no reliability here. Anything that they put into their emotion is a lot of power behind their emotion. So they are dedicated. Definitely. They have a very fierce energy. So sometimes it feels like it might be running away, but it's very balanced. I mean, and this person would fight for you, whoever this individual is. Okay. They could be a water sign also. And emotionally, you're very distant and could have walked away from this person already, or you have walked away from them before, or you're in the midst of kind of back and forth, not really knowing how to feel in the experience, especially whatever this love connection in this experience is, or whatever conflict you may or may not be having. Okay, so anything upcoming or likely outcome here. Okay. It's just procrastinating some sort of a decision, something you've already put work into, something you've been dedicated to, you've been reliable about. This could be dealing with another person. This person could be a fire sign. They could also be another earth sign. But this is something of a third party. So anything that, you know, affects your relationship, that's a third party. It could be a person or work or, you know, say video games, whatever. But you're needing to make a relationship some type of a decision here, and you're not, because there's a couple choices. And again, you're really just kind of going back and forth, not really knowing, because this other person is just not reliable and as balanced as you would like. So it's not as secure or safe. With this other person, they're on fire. They would nurture the shit out of this relationship. So, but you've already put a lot of dedication into maybe even both of them. So whatever that means for you, Capricorn. All right, please hit subscribe. I'm going to get into our next zodiac sign for current feels. How are you feeling about your person? All right. Who we on? Aquarius. Let's do Aquarius. And then we got Pisces, and then that will be it for current readings. Okay. All right. I can already feel like whatever this is, Aquarius, it's like it won't lift off. It won't take off. It won't take flight. It's like it won't get up off the ground. It's very much in a place where you have history with this person, most likely. Just maybe not asking enough or being there enough for any kind of like balance. Some sort of a choice, maybe. Definitely some sort of a choice or decision that needs to be made. Maybe should ask some questions about it so that you can figure it out. All right. We're going to find out a little bit more about the relationship as well as the zodiac sign for this person. Okay. Okay, so 7 of Cups. There's definitely some sort of a decision that you need to make or a choice, and it's kind of a back and forth game. Sometimes we procrastinate, sometimes we don't do it soon enough or quick enough for the other person. So again, this is just you trying to reflect on something. Maybe you need to pick up the pace a little bit because this person has offered you love already. So this person has offered you love, and it may not be there even as of right now, because the flow in this situation or the connection is really balanced. I feel like that you could build on this if there was action being put into this new beginning with this person, okay? This could be a fire sign, could be a water sign. Yeah, emotionally, you're stable for that. You're open to that. You want to nurture that. That's something that you want to do. You want to take away the distance or the space or the time. There's something in between the two of yours choice that hasn't been made, as well as this new beginning to this connection. So just always needing to move in that direction, especially as of right now, because they're already ready for you to make the choice here. And I feel like the longer you wait, the less it will definitely not be there. So any thoughts or mental process that you need to, go through or, banter back and forth with your heart, you should probably do that. Yeah, over on their end, they have a new perspective of you because of this wait or because of this time. It has caused them a tower moment. So they could have had a little bit of a heartbreak over it. They could have had, a lot of intensity, a lot of emotions that they didn't understand. Maybe you were unaware of it, because your upcoming with this person is a new beginning. And maybe hopefully the death of, the old situation, whatever that might have been, because that really felt achy to them. It was very uncomfortable, not very positive at all. So again, it probably changed their perception on either the experience or you just in general. Yeah, definitely wanting a new beginning, because the other situation or whatever kind of connection you have with this person, you two had no reliability here. There was nothing going to be happening from this at all for some reason. And they were wanting this to be a stable home life, you know, just really trying to make it grow. And they withdrew. So they withdrew their energy from the situation. Learning and trying to be as rational and logical as possible, but there was definitely something here as far as a choice that needed to be made at the time. Something that they were very unaware of, or you weren't seeing. Whatever it is, it just needed to be chose. It needed to be taken care of as far as putting balance back into the relationship. Because the overall experience will be really lovely. Like if you really put focus and dedication and work into this relationship, I feel like there's nothing that you can't do. Especially if you're wanting to feel safe and, you know, like really grounded in this and have a home life together, some sort of a staying within the heart together, like you could. You could definitely have that. A horse, of course. Horse's ass. It's all a horse's ass. Okay, please go hit subscribe. We're going to get into our next reading, and that's going to be Pisces. So we're going to find out the current energy of Pisces and their relationship, and then we're going to find out all that we can as far as a tarot read. I don't know what that means. Horse. Horse is a hoe. I don't know. Hose, hoe. Horse. So. All right. Let's get into the oracle read. What's going on between the two of you first? Some sort of a conflict, some sort of a crisis to one of you. And it's like, there's just this overall, like, this is someone's not feeling like something's fair here. Somebody's like, this doesn't make any sense, okay? The connection, the power that goes into this relationship, I feel like has changed. And now I feel like things are unfair. Maybe you feel like the power dynamic was off in the relationship. Because this relationship was supposed to be of a connected relationship, something that changed, you know, moved, had movement, had change, had courage. Okay, let's find out a little bit about what's going on. Okay, as far as thoughts and communication, in the past, they were more of a communicator. It's like there's a lot of distance now. There's a lot of intensity also. But mostly they feel like their head is clear about some things. Also, on your end, though, the thoughts in this relationship all go to something trying to end, like pretending that it's okay. So somebody is not okay in the relationship. Somebody is fully aware of that. And I feel like this is just like forced. It's almost like you feel like this would be a forced communication if you were to talk. They could talk. They communicate all the time, whoever this person is, which is an air sign. But you're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk. Or maybe you talked and you talked all that you could and now you're done. And now you're done, okay? Because emotionally, the experience was just too intense overall. So this could be currently or this could be more of the past. But I feel like with the Six of Swords, that's just indicating memories with this person or that you had a relationship with this person at one time. Okay, emotionally, they are stable and they were nurturing the situation. But you're just not chatting with them right now. That's why I'm confused. And emotionally, again, I feel like there is an intensity. There is kind of you feeling as if like this relationship makes it so that you don't see things clearly. Maybe you feel uncomfortable even communicating that. But the experience is clear. I mean, it is pretty clear what's going on here. Yeah, somebody's just not putting in as much effort as they once were. And this person's like, I'm out of here. So any of the information that's going in as this being a conflict or a crisis would have to do with that connection or that power or that action behind the relationship. Again, they're kind of, it's indicating with the cards that you're not fully putting in as much work as they are. And they don't feel like it's fair. They don't feel like their energy shouldn't be shared if you're not sharing yours. So likely outcome for this upcoming month. So this is definitely a connection that has feeling, okay? And I don't think it's there anymore because you're not giving communication to this. That is what is influencing the situation. They were there for you, and now I just feel like they can't really see what's in front of them anymore. So they're looking ahead. They're looking ahead. They're ready for something different. They're over, feeling like this. So they're kind of passive, and they're not really giving a whole bunch for the next month at all. And you're, again, not communicating with this person. So whatever this connection was, whatever this situation was, I feel like you both have moved on for sure. Yeah, because they'd be like very, very upset and not very nice if they were to talk about it or you guys were to involve each other again. I feel like the intellectual will go right out the fucking door. Definitely. So don't have a convo. Don't try to clear things up. Maybe that is for the best because they have some words for you that are not very nice. Okay, please go ahead, hit subscribe to Hangman Tarot. I'm going to get out of here. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you all later if I can get out.